a rose there, there, focus, there, and there, and there. I didn't go any further up because A, that's where we park our trash can, and B, there's a hibiscus right here that's going to get relatively large and bump back, and then there's another baptisia right there. So I don't want to plant it too full and risk the possibility of them just colliding with one another, because they get to be about a 3x3, so that'll fill in that. It almost looked like a little S-shaped head. And I still have like 4 more of those hostas down in the other flower bed. So if I want to incorporate a couple more, or at least one more up here, which I might, then I can do so. But I do think I want some more of those ferns back here because they're just beautiful. And that hosta will, that hydrangea will spread way more than it is right now. So I don't want to plant anything like right up against it. So I think that's a good spot. All right, we're gonna take this other one and plant it in the empty hole for now, because it looks like rain is coming. And so I wanna get this done. So I at least wanna get something in that hole up there. I do wanna get another Woolala, but just for the sake of time, I don't feel like taking up the other Woolala. So I'm just gonna put this one in its place up there. So let's go do that really, really quick. So this is another day and I have got all the planting done. So I thought I'd give you a quick little walk around and show you guys everything that's going on. If you hear background noise, it's cars or it's my daughter. So right here we have a nice little drift of peachberry ice heuchera and one cherry truffle. I still haven't got the Hudson Bay hostas in yet, and I still need to mulch and edge this area of the flower bed for the most part. And I still need to get back there and pull that Virginia creeper. But then we got some seducer hostas there. I think I showed you guys this container earlier. Right here we have some double rose, double pink begonias. Behind that is a row of Gara. Behind here we have 1, That's a newly planted one. 2, 3 newly planted, 4 and 5 of the little limes. So that'll make a nice thick hedge of little lime hydrangeas here. Right beside that is the Bartzella Ito Peony and some Liriope. I wanted color this year. Last spring was all about putting the things out here, getting the perennials set, but I really wanted some pops of color. So we'll go through here. Back here is a nice little drift. These are smaller. They did that last spring too, so I'm hoping that they'll kind of bulk up like the other 3 right here. But we have the Banana Cream 2 Shasta Daisies. This is a pink dogwood I got from Home Depot last spring. Right along in here is a drift of annuals, Sun Patience and Patience, just in a variety of different colors. I just wanted color this year, and I've even tried colors that I don't normally try, which is red and orange. Back here are some Patriot Hostas, a variety of Nandinas that I'm not sure what the variety is. They turn a beautiful red in the winter time though. They're gorgeous, and I did give them a haircut because they were wild. Over here, this portion of the bed, we're going to get some step stones right here, some flagstones or something, because we cut through here a lot. This side is going to be the hosta zone. This is a container, kind of like a repeat from last year. There's the caladium in there, I think a scarlet flame, proven winners, some alyssum, heuchera, and an evergreen. There's a sweet potato vine called Black. And that is some coleus. All right, so these get relatively big, like 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. So there'll be a nice little patch of red right in there. That is the hosta that was transplanted. And then we got more Liriope growing in through here. It's not a variegated variety right here. I got a couple of Supertunia fuchsias, I think. And that'll be a nice little block of color here. I do plan on adding a few more. Here's some more hostas, a couple of coast to coast. We have some autumn frost hostas spotted in. Those are some transplanted ones that the deer had got a hold of. So we got, you know, some spotted out through here. This is a verbena. I think it's violet. The cat that thinks it belongs to our family. This is Callie, the calico cat. So if you hear meowing in the background, I'm not neglecting my cat. It's really not mine, but we do plan on keeping her. Anyway, so, and these trail out pretty far, about 20 inches per plant, you guys. And I've kind of planted them close together on purpose. I do plan on getting a few more and popping them in, like there, maybe there, just so it'll fill in this nice corner. I do still have to come out here and mulch, so it does look a little patchy with the mulch. There's another, the autumn frost down in there. And there's another transplanted hosta. That's a coast to coast as well that the deer just snacked on. This is a Bloodgood Japanese maple. Got last spring. All this stuff was planted last spring, you guys, with the exception of a few annuals, of the annuals. Back there is a lemony lace, elderberry. That's a woolala that's right beside Callie. And the rest of these are Empress Woo. So we got some Empress Woos that go all along and around to the back side of the tree there. And then there were a few ferns, autumn ferns in here, and only one survived in this bed. The other beds, hello Callie, shh. The other beds are thick with the ferns, so they did pretty well. Right here, I do have some impatiens that I do plan on planting around right in here. Callie, okay. Okay, now go. Some more impatiens that I plan on putting around in this area just to add some color to this side as well. But yeah, so that's how this side is looking. It's doing beautiful. All these hostas, like I said, this was all planted last spring. You can see the laripe is trying to spread. I want it to just naturalize in this whole area. That way I don't have to keep mulching out here. And then there's a hole back here that I'm probably going to put another hosta in. I had another lemony lace that did not make it this spring for whatever reason. So anyway, so this is the backed up view. And like I said, we're going to get some flagstone probably to go through there because everybody seems to cut through right there, including the mail carriers, which is a bit frustrating, but I can do it. It's my flower bed, but when strangers do it, it just becomes a little bit obnoxious. All right, so I want to back up and give you guys an overall view of this flower bed, and then we'll go and take a look at the one out back. All right, and here it is. Like I said, I do have to edge here and finish mulching, but yeah, there it is. And just imagine when all that fills in, gets all nice and thick. Y'all, the road traffic, we live right on the front street. Anyway, just imagine when all this fills in, gets nice and thick and full, how pretty that's going to be. It's going to be really pretty. I still, like I said, want to add a little bit more color to this corner, but we do have it, and they will spread. Sorry, she's telling me the cat's in the flower bed. That the color will spread, but I still want just a little bit more pop on that side, so it's not so non-colorful. All right, let's go take a look at the mailbox bed and the side flower beds. All right, so here is the mailbox bed. We got some celosia back here in the back. This is another coleus. I cannot remember the name, you guys, and I think I already chunked the tag. So if I find it, I'll put it up on the screen. And then here is some more of the Supertunia fuchsia, which will be nice. It'll just kind of spread and make a thick blanket right along in here. And then some more transplanted laripe right in here. All right, so the other flower bed is right up here. All right, you guys, so here's the other flower bed. Right in here, we have some transplanted laripe that came from the other flower bed. There was tons of it. You can see I've spread it throughout the yard. There are, spotted in between each one is some Supertunia rose vein, which will be just a nice little blanket of color coming out between each one. There is some heuchera that I got from Lowe's last year. Can't remember the name. I apologize. And then this gorgeous thing that I got from Lowe's last year as well. And some dollar hostas that I got at someone's local plant sale that they had at their own backyard. Also, here is some daylilies. That one's much smaller. The frost got it, but it's coming back and I'm okay with that. This one is nice and large. And I wish I would have came out here yesterday when there was some blooms out here, but you can see it's all nice and budded up. So she'll be ready to put on a show in a little bit for us. All right, so now we're going to move on along down the side here where I transplanted the roses. All right, so you can see just since the video, here is also, I need to take this to the curbside, my crepe myrtle that just did not make it. This is the Baptisia that was a little bit smaller. It's starting to go out of bloom, but she's putting on some growth. Also, my hibiscus has put on much growth in just the last couple of days. And something ran through here, you guys, and trampled it. My mom said she saw a small dog run through here. So I'm thinking, but it's got it all splayed in the middle. So, but she's coming back. She's doing good. There's some random gladiolas that came back from last year. Some alliums, serendipity. Here's another Baptisia right here. And this one still got some pretty good blooms on it. But they're just really pretty. We had a good rain last night too, you guys, and this morning, so everything's looking real fresh. There's one of the transplanted rose bushes. There's another back here somewhere, back there. More alliums. Incredible hydrangea. Another rose bush there, and then there's another one back here behind these gladiolas, and another one behind this rose bush. I mean, this hydrangea actually. So everything's looking really good. There's my autumn joy sedum. There's actually 3 plants here. That's the smallest one that came from my mom, and then the other one's here. And these used to be planted in a container with some pink balloon flowers, and you guys, there's the balloon flowers coming up. They do it every year. All right, so down the hill needs to be weeded and edged. So you guys give me some grace on this. I will get to it when I get to it. I actually mowed the lawn for the first time the other day and got sucked into some other side projects. So I didn't get out here and get a chance to edge and weed this, but this is some ajuga that I also got from the plant sale. I think I got like a flat of 50 for like $5. And it was kind of mix and match because there's some other ones I'll walk on down here. Y'all ignore the weeds. I also have some beautiful Japanese maples coming up in here from my neighbor that I'm going to be transplanting into containers pretty soon. So we have this is Burgundy Glow. It's out of bloom, but it blooms beautifully. But what I want is for this to just blanket this whole entire hillside to keep the mulch from, you know, spilling out into the lawn, and just to keep the hillside from eroding as much. I'm not sure the variety of this one here. It got mixed in somehow. I may actually transplant this one into the front flower bed so that I don't have to mulch as much either. But they're so dense and so thick, nothing grows. It's very rare. You'll see a few sprigs of grass here and there grow through it. That's it. So it's doing its job. And you should have saw how sparse these plugs were when I got them. I actually thought they weren't going to make it, so they've done phenomenal. And for us, they're evergreen. So right down in here are some Sun Sparkler Dazzleberry sedum. They're beautiful. So I have this one and I have this one. Hopefully you guys can hear me better now because the neighbor's AC just kicked off, so you might be able to hear me a little better. All right, right here is some more sedum. Popstar, I think. Some lamb's ear. Helen Von Stein, looking beautiful. A little limp from the rain, but still looks good. All right, so right here, you guys, is a tiny Tough Stuff. And for us, our soil, I think it's a little bit more on the acidic side. So my blooms are, they go between a purpley pink. But most of the hydrangeas here are purple or blue. She did have a little bit of burn on her leaves, but that was actually from the garden center, not from here. She is predominantly in a very filtered light situation back here. And you can see her new growth right here since I got her. She's doing great. And I put her right here next to this hosta. So obviously you can tell the sunlight quality over here. It doesn't get a whole heap of a lot of sun because of the huge pines and the maple tree back here behind me. But these two are at the bottom of our downspout. So they get all the moisture that they need, and they do really well here. This little tiny Tough Stuff though, she only gets to be like 2.5 feet tall and wide. So she's not too much more bigger than what she'll be. But beautiful just to see that color coming down the hill. This bad boy needs to be pruned. I need to come in deadhead and stake apparently. But this is my Bathsheba Climbing Rose, and I hate I didn't catch her when she was in full bloom because it's spectacular. And I like the smell of her. Some people don't. It's more of a myrrh smell. But this is her second spring. I got her last spring. This is a David Austin Rose. And then here are the other transplanted things down here. So there is the one hosta that we transplanted, and since transplanting that hosta, I've also went and got me some more Japanese painted ferns. So this one is just one that I picked up from Lowe's last spring. This is Proven Winners Crested Surf Japanese painted fern. I have one there, and I have another there. And then my Fatsia back here got really nipped with that cold spurt that came through, but it's pulling through. It's looking good. But if you may remember from last year, it was much larger, but that's okay. It's not dead. It's still alive. That's what matters. So I'll back up. I did mulch in here, but I still have yet to edge. So let me back up and show you guys. All right, so this is what it's looking like. Those are some more transplants from down below. We got some Impatiens in here in all the colors. There is the Fairy Trail Bride Hydrangea. And then we got some Astilbe on the corner, and behind it, it looks like sticks, but it's actually leaves on it. You can't tell because it's blending in with the mulch. That's a tiny wine. And then behind that is a hydrangea that I got from the plant sale for $5. And there's about 3 of them back there. The blooms on this Astilbe though is beautiful. Like I said, everything doesn't look at its peak because we just got some pretty intense rains. So some things may look a little floppy where other things look really nice. But I'll definitely have to come back out here after the flower bed and everything has been edged. And this is just a Japanese maple that's just growing like crazy. Look at that new growth. I got it last year at Home Depot. This is it, you guys. Everything's looking nice. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and share this video with friends and family. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.